are talking about. And also, I learned that Mr. President, talking about our president, had visited Anambra State. And you might also want to tell us what projects were there in terms of your overview as to the report regarding the performance of the governor of...
A tough one, trying to summarize Soludo's executive governor of Anambra State. But I'll try. First, I must start by saying that Soludo came fully prepared. That's it. And as governor, he was really prepared before he was elected. He had a lot of experience behind him. Former governor of CBN, Nigeria. And even before then, he was also the special advisor to the president on economic planning and all that. Consultant to a dozen international financial institutions, including IMF, World Bank, and all that. And when he came, two things. Governor Willie Obiano was in power, and himself also had a very robust manifesto, the Soludo solution, the People's Manifesto. And when he became governor-elect, he was also able to put together a number of experts, constituting them into what was called then Soludo's Transition Committee. Somebody like Governor Oti of Abia State was part of that committee. He wasn't a governor yet at that time. This will give you an idea of the kind of people that Soludo assembled. That they teased out a kind of blueprint to help drive his governance. So he came fully prepared, experientially, theoretically, and in terms of developmental blueprints. So he had everything. So he hit the ground running when he was sworn in on March 17th, 2022. The following day, he was in Oboko to start the work there. And within 2 to 3 years, he transformed a place like Oboko. Oboko could be best seen as the largest urban slum in at least east of the Niger. But today it's a haven. It has been transformed by Soludo, and there you now have general hospital, pipe-borne water, you have street lights, you have roads, you have everything that can be seen in any modern urban center. It's an example of one of Soludo's signature achievements. In this case now, in urban regeneration. I believe Oboko is a test case, and whoever knew Oboko then and now will agree that it's a total transformation. And many other parts of Anambra State have actually witnessed a similar transformation. You talked about infrastructure, roads. Like I said, I'll just give some figures, and it will help drive the narrative. One, when Soludo came in, he actually declared the state of emergency in infrastructure and roads, and within 3 years, he had awarded over 700 kilometers of roads, and as of today, over 500 kilometers of those roads are now asphalted and being used. And there is something about the Soludo roads. One, he is using a technology that stands out two things. One, he is so that's an idea is now, and without a state house, without a government house, and it's a jinx broken because the Soludo has constructed actually a mini city. It's a mini city in the sense that the entire government house complex is made up of 56 buildings. All of them are attending to different needs. So it's a city within a city. It was just christened last Monday, Lighthouse.
Okay.
Lighthouse Oka. So Anambra Government House is now known as Lighthouse. You may call, White House
yes.
in the U.S.
This one is called Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then one thing Soludo is determined to reverse. So rather than allowing Anambra to continue as a departure launch, we want to make it a destination of choice. And not just for the Anambra, but for all Nigerians, all investors. So, you cannot achieve that unless you have a very intentional reconfiguration of the state in such a way as to make it receptive. Yeah. Soludo talks about, Anambra being a place where you can live, learn, work, enjoy, and all that, learn and enjoy. Yeah. That's the way. So, that means there are certain infrastructure that must be in place. And that informs why Soludo also constructed the Solution Fund City. The Solution Fund City is a leisure park that is unique in itself, because normally a leisure park, you find an amusement park normally, and the water park is not often find co-located with an amusement park. But in the one that Soludo has built, there are 4 components which make it very unique, and perhaps the only one of such anywhere in the world. And I'll tell you why. You have a water park within the leisure park, that's the Solution Fund City. You have a water park, you have amusement park, you have family fun center, as well as an international country club. You don't find all these co-located in a place. So you can see that we have and the facilities you find there, like the drop tower, like the roller coaster, and every other thing that what do you call the Marriott Hotel. So what that means is that with the International Conference Center, with the mentioners, that by that I mean medical doctors, pharmacists, nurses, the scientists and technologists, 1,000 in one fell swoop. Yeah, happened before in Anambra. And there is something that we recently introduced, what is called the telemedicine. Telemedicine works this way. In Anambra now, all you need to do is to access one primary health center. Just access one closest to you. And Soludo has made, Soludo has made sure that in the 326 wards in Anambra State, that there is at least one functional health center.
Yeah.
So if you are sick in Anambra, just access the closest health center. If you get to the closest health center, you will see at least 2 nurses. And with telemedicine, if you do not have a doctor there on ground, you can reach a doctor through telemedicine. How that is done is that the nurses will connect it to a doctor. There are teleprompters like a television who consult the doctor. If you had gone to his consulting room, it's the same way the telemedicine works. So everything you need can now, the diagnosis can be done with the assistance of the telemedicine. And how that works is that government is paying the educational system what the parents ought to be paying. So it's not as if the educational system is left to wallow in want because there is free education. No, they get the money they normally get from parents in terms of school fees. And it doesn't stop there. So it's also the Southeast were actually built by the missionaries, and the military took over those schools. So under Ngige, P2B, Obiano, and of course Soludo, all these schools have been returned the mission. Now look at what Soludo is doing. Soludo is offering subsidy to these schools that the missions, that the churches have taken back. You know, look at the way he talked to take care of classrooms without teachers, classrooms without qualified teachers, and 3,650 of these teachers were sent to the mission returned schools. And he is paying their salary in dates. You know, so the missions are not paying the salaries of these teachers. Soludo is paying. He's paying those teachers. That is subsidy. I once asked him, why do you do that? He said that if we don't do that, that they charge the fees they will be charging people in mission returned schools will be so exorbitant that the poor will not be able to access. You see the logic?
Right, Commissioner.
Yes.
Commissioner, let me ask you, in terms of skill acquisition in that regard for the youth.
If there is what?
Skill acquisition.
Oh yes. I
think
I was coming to let me address youth empowerment.
Okay.
But before I address youth empowerment, it's important to place some. Though has employed a total of 8,815 teachers. 8,815 teachers, and there is something about this employment. The teachers were drawn from 18 states in Nigeria. They are not all from Anambra. 18 states. So if you enter schools in Anambra, you will find Hausa teachers, Yoruba teachers, teachers, Anambra teachers, teachers from other southeastern states, from 18 states, because Soludo said that we want the best teachers we can get from anywhere in the world to teach our children, rather than get unqualified teachers from Anambra. So he was competitive, and we have the best of teachers, and the results are showing in our performance where it comes to NECO and the WAEC and so on and so forth. Now, youth empowerment. Just what you call, what is called the one youth, two skills.
Okay.
So he now introduced this, and the array of vocations that are now taught in the one youth, two skills scheme is 45 on the whole, 45, ranging from agriculture to ICT, tailoring, all manner of things, mechanic, motor mechanic or auto mechanic, if you want to call it that. Every aspect of vocation that you can find anywhere, they are now being taught in Anambra. So far, over 12,000 youths have graduated, and the first batch was a batch of 5,000. The second batch is a batch of 8,700, something like that. 8,700, bringing it to a total of about 13,700. They have been taught, they have been mentored, and the second batch is now being empowered, being constituted into what you call cooperative societies to enable them stand together and then pursue their happiness and their vocation. And for you to understand how successful this scheme has been, the first batch of 5,000, about 1,000 from that first batch of 5,000 together, 2-3 months ago, and in a program that they would train another batch of 1,000 free of charge as a way of saying thank you to the solution government and to Ndi Anambra that gave them life. They call themselves proud young millionaires. You can imagine, barely 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, the scheme is already producing millionaires. And to prove that they are millionaires indeed, they are training 1,000 on their own, and they are going to, they say they will empower them. The one use skills is very marvelous. In fact, there was a time the federal asked for the blueprint. There are other states that are also copying and modifying to adapt to their own needs. So youth empowerment is one major program you have in Anambra, and it's working. In fact, at the last executive council meeting, ANSEC meeting, one youth, two skills plus. There are things they have added to the scheme. There is now one skills academy. There is now one youth skills. So many things are now attached. They have the TV. They have their own. It's phenomenal. Okay. I tell you.
Well, let me put a peg to your thoughts, as we have to pay some bills. But I'll connect with you, voice, and engage with the Anambra State Committee's leadership scorecard. And in case you don't know, he's the governor of Anambra State. Talking about Governor Soludo right there. We'll just head out, go on a recess. We'll be right back in a short bit.
Eagle. 1, 2, 3. You want order food? We dey run massive discount. Oh, yeah. Just place your order now. We discount. Oh, yeah. Just place your order now. We dey run free delivery when you order. Oh yeah now.
Hurry now and download Oya Now app on the Google Play Store or Apple Store. You can also visit us at www.oyanow. You can also visit us at www.oyanow.ng or call us on 080 8410. Call us on 080 8410 1000 or 081 2355 4000. We are available in Lagos and Abuja. We are available in Lagos and Abuja. We are now with the come.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Things they happen for our community,
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
That my own don't finish.
My girl, let's go and greet them, okay?
Funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is Eagles Outlook. We are having our searchlight beaming to Anambra State, and we've got the Commissioner for Information right there in Anambra State, and talking about none other but that would be, of course, Dr. Law Mefo, right? And just in case you didn't know, I mean, he's also a social psychologist and fellow of the Abuja School of Social and Political Thoughts, right? Now, he has also been written extensively on various topics, also highlighting the governor's achievements in infrastructure development, technology, and democracy, dividends. But just before we get him aboard, to adduce, to be verifiable, so to speak, right? Now, projects of Governor Soludo, and I'll put him through, so he doesn't seem as though I'm just calling these projects and he is not given a nod to it, right? So we'll just
Thank you.
Serving questions now and concerns. I mean, we've
Yeah.
heard most of the things that you said and all of that, but let me put some of these into perspective. Where I may be wrong, please correct me. Now, there are projects of Governor Charles Soludo, in terms of maintenance of road, 392 kilometers of roadways, way network master plan, develop a place of urban renewal initiatives where extensive urban renewal initiatives are, ongoing in major cities. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Right. In terms of technology,
I told you I started with Oboko.
Yes.
That has been turned from slum to harvest.
I was going to come there. There are places up in terms of technology and innovation now. I think we've had a Solution Innovation District, right? Establishment of a hub for digital skills development, startup incubation, and all of that. We've also had the Anambra Agency. Well, there's supposed to be a promotion of technology adoption in government and broader communities. Is that right? And there's the Digital Innovation Award. I mean, the governor himself has indeed collected an outstanding achievements, in technology innovation and digital economy, right? And then there is also computer provision. Computers have been provided to the state civil service to promote technology adoption. Right.
Yes.
Okay, so education, you already mentioned the fact that there's the free education implementation in all basic public schools, One Youth, Two Skills program, training and grants for young people to acquire skills as well as launch businesses, right? And of course, for healthcare, there's been the free antenatal care, free, and there's been cervical cancer screening establishment of cervical cancer screening, centers. There's been state emergency medical services, and in fact, for the economy now, Anambra mixed-use industrial city. I mean, this one is called a development of a mixed-use industrial city to promote economic growth. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then there's the agricultural revolution, where agricultural revolution centered on palm kernel and coconut industries are there to lift millions out of poverty. But is that really engaging? Is that what it is? That's
what it is, and it's yielding bountiful results already.
And bountiful results. Okay, you mentioned the 5-star hotel. Of course, I think that should be in Oka right now.
Yes, in Oka, yes.
Yeah, planned construction. Yes, and of course we have got the Oka Fun City, right? Development of Oka Fun City, yeah? Right. Now, there are other initiatives too. I mean, there's been the urban slum revitalization. I think that's where the Okpoko comes into play, yeah? And then the justice reforms, the justice system reforms, because Nigeria at this point in time, everybody's talking about justice reforms and all of that. And if Anambra State has already started that process, maybe this is something every other state should cue into, right? And it is aimed at efficient dispensation of justice. Now, we've got the Anambra Electoral Bill 2024, which is about the approval of the Anambra Electoral Bill 2024 to enhance the local government system. Do you want to shed a bit of light into this particular one?
Yeah, you see, the last Monday, the Anambra State Executive Council, ANSEC, approved what is called the Anambra State Electricity Regulatory Commission. It will be considered before the end of the month.
Okay.
And it is to drive the process, the legal, into an act into full law. So to give effect to that bill, a commission, the regulatory commission, has been approved and will come on stream before the end of the month. And in fact, let me use this opportunity because all these ramifications, it's engineering, marketing, and so on and so forth, to indicate interest to join the Anambra Electricity Regulatory Commission, join the board. So it's open to all Nigerians.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, that is it. So the target is this. Let me tell you what we really want to achieve. What we want to do is to create the enabling environment that can now permit the investors to come in and take over. Ours is to regulate. We don't really want to produce So if I'll forward the bill to you.
Okay.
So you can look at it and understand its ramifications. And you will see that before the end of the ramifications. And you will see that before the end of the year, possibly, all the physical infrastructure and the other frameworks that will enable the steady electricity supply in Anambra, very cheap electricity supply in Anambra, to be possible.
Right.
And we believe we have everything that is needed.
Okay.
Both thermal, everything. Doesn't matter the kind of technology they want to bring in.
Okay.
We have enough rivers, enough everything.
Just before, because time would not allow for us now. I served in Oka in Anambra State. Now, I've seen, some of the infrastructural developments at the time that I served. There were projections, injections. I hope that what we have...
I want the Eagle FM to come to Oka. To see things for themselves. Okay, we don't want, come beyond that. It will not be you telling Nigerians what you saw when you came.
Beyond that, hope these infrastructure and developmental strides are not only centered in the capital itself alone, but spread across every other part.
Where you have the most iconic flyover in Anambra now.
Yes.
It's not in Oka, it's in Anambra South.
Okay.
It's in Anambra Central Senatorial District.
Okay.
Ekulobia is in Anambra South Senatorial District. The 5 general hospitals are all in Anambra North. In fact, most of the roads that are not even constructed within Oka itself. Oka has about 20 roads, brand new roads, and all that.
All right, I don't mean to cut you right now.
We're talking about over 100 roads.
Yes.
So if Oka has 20, if Oka has 20 to 30 roads, the balance of 100 roads are scattered all over Anambra State.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
There is Anambra West has a headquarters in a place called Nza. Headquarters of Anambra West, or rather, the only local government in the entire Southeast Nigeria, possibly in the leading Soludo has now constructed the road. The road we are talking about is over 30 kilometers. That now cuts across 3 to 4 local governments and they're terminating in Bisunza. So this Uzan is not in Oka. Uzan is in Anambra North.
All right, I have two questions, but before then, I'd like to ask: is it okay to entertain calls because Nigerians and family members want to speak with you, want to ask you questions? If that's okay.
People can call.
Awesome.
Please.
Right now, you can put that call through. All right, 0907-353-0044. I mean, let's stick to that number, 0907-353-0044. Call that number now, ask your questions, and go straight to the point because time is not our friend. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Master Yudi.
Good morning to you, please.
Dr. Lajide from Wuse.
Dr. Lajide, straight to the point. Ask the commissioner.
Regard to our commissioner,
yes.
He has done justice to what is happening in Anambra for us outside Anambra to know. More is this, Master Yudi. If what is happening in Anambra State in terms of infrastructure development could be the replica of what is happening in other states. Master Yudi, where do you think this country will have been by now? That is why we called on His Excellency, Professor Soludo, to continue doing this kind of work for humanity in Anambra, so that by the time he leaves, his fruit linger to eternity. Thank you, Mr. Alome, for Thank you, Master
my
Yudi.
brother.
Thank you,
Right.
His Excellency, Governor Chasu.
Thank you, my brother.
Right, that's
His observation is clear. You can see the force of a very transformational, intentional leadership. And let me tell you, Soludo is doing all these things without penny.
without borrowing. Without borrowing.
Without borrowing. He has not the penny from anywhere. He has not.
Okay, let me put a pen to your thoughts and just take this call because time is not very. Hello, good morning.
Aluta Senator Obasanjo Barrister, sorry.
Obasanjo, please be guided. I've told you that
Thank
before. Okay, go straight to your question, please.
Thank you. I must comment Mr. the Governor himself. Me, I know he can do it when he was CBN Governor in Nigeria. We know what Professor Soludo did. This is what we have been yearning. We need vibrant people to come on board, to come and lead the country, to come and lead the local government. We don't just need making promises that they are not fulfilling. Like the commissioner, I want to thank you, Honorable Commissioner. Good morning,
thank
sir.
You.
I pray
thank you, my dear.
Charles Soludo should continue to do the best thing in Anambra. I have been to Anambra. I have seen it with Korokoro eyes. So I am not doubt of it. All what I am praying for good as a governor. From there, I know you will mentor to be a president in another country, in our country.
All right.
Come some years.
All right,
thank you. God bless you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay, so we see this message right here via the WhatsApp portal is coming from Turkenby Hundu. It says, good morning, I'm in Nasarawa State. I've been listening to your guest, Dr. Law Mefo, over the years, even when he was in another station, I guess. I don't know. But he says he didn't join politics then as a political analyst, but he could talk about those in government with a slight difference compared to now. He is in government with the government of Anambra State under his principal Governor Charles Soludo. All I can see is the singing of praises, according to him, as with other Nigerian politicians, full of praises. Well, it says, I wish him well, and his name is Turkenby Hundu. Well, that's what Turkenby has got to say, in this regard.
Like I said, I'm talking... And, because they are facts, I don't need to lie about them. And because they are facts, I don't need to propagandize about them. Whoever is in doubt can be my guest. The guest of Commissioner for Information in Anambra State, I'll take you around these projects. You see for yourself and draw your own conclusion.
Well, I see that we've been given an invite, so we will indeed.
You have been given an invite,
right,
and I want you to use it.
Great.
Let me. I want to say one thing before we round off on security.
Yes, I was going to come there. Security, very important. Very, very important.
Anambra has the best security network in Nigeria.
Why do you say that, Dr. Law?
I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. If you read, we started with what you may call the legal framework and the governance structure created by Anambra State Homeland Security Law 2025. And February 18, the new security architecture was, and we now have what you call Agune Chamber. Agune Chamber is the name that the new law has given Anambra Vigilante. And then there is an Operation Udogachi, which is a hybrid security technology. We have a command and control center now. So, by that I mean, Anambra is wired, and from Anambra is wired, and from a location from a central location, most parts of Anambra can be viewed. So where there is any security breach, there can be help, and that has been working magic. And not only the command and control center, we also have a call center. The call center 5301. If you see something, call 5111, and help will come. And if you give us an intel that proves to be useful, you can
provide.
Listen. we run a kind of whistle-blowing policy in our new security architecture. We have incentivized a security or a security intelligence. Whoever can give us information, an example of such information is that if you can give us information on a kidnap gang, on an armed robbery gang, or any crime activity that is going on around you, once we use it to bust the gang or get a criminal, we will pay you 5. In Soludo's a promise, and he has been keeping it.
Okay.
And he has led us to so many. So Anambra is coming down. Apart from the call center 5111, we also have the best, one of the best tracking systems in Nigeria now.
Right. I wish we can go on because I have less than a minute already. But then I want to appreciate you for giving us all of these information. Trust me.
And that nation that is made up of well over 2,000 officers and men.
Yeah.
And beyond that also,
Doctor,
we have over 200 special purpose vehicles, trucks.
All right, Doctor.
Enter even the forest and any criminal gang. We are
Dr. Law.
Up. Yes.
Yeah, for want of time, because time has already, elapsed now.
Yes.
But I mean,
I
it seems as though we cannot even exhaust, everything with regards to Anambra State.
Anytime, call me back.
All right then. Anyways, though, but I also remember one time that Anambra was vying towards internally generated revenue. In fact, chasing after Lagos and Kano states. In fact, at some point they became second commercial, city. They were trying to become the first and all of that.
We are one of the 5 viable states in Nigeria.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It means we can survive without the federal government.
Exactly. Well, Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo's leadership scorecard is indeed a visionary leader. And commitment to transforming Anambra State. Well, under his administration, though, we have also seen that the state has witnessed significant progress in infrastructure development, economic growth, healthcare, education, even security. And now the commissioning of various projects by president got to be educated.
Well, I think it has to do with the policy that was there before I came in. In fact, I joined the government 8 months ago.
Okay.
And the governor believed that his works should speak for themselves and speak for him.
All right.
And in politics, it's not like that. So when I came in, I started the new process of strategic communication to communicate these achievements, the policies, the programs, and then launched fully out there to receive feedbacks from our people. Through that, the government is refining certain things, and they're getting reinforced in areas where people fully validate. So
all right, Doctor.
We are now talking more.
Yeah.
We are telling the world what Soludo has, and we are not waiting for his works to speak for him and speak for his government, for his achievements. We are now speaking for ourselves.
All right.
If you don't say here I am, nobody says there.
Yeah. One last one. I want to give you for 100%. What will be your scorecard for your principal? 100.
For me,
just one line. Just one line.
Because Soludo has gone beyond his own manifesto. I'll give him 90%. I don't want to say 100 because nobody is perfect.
All right, 90 is good.
He has
90 is good.
His own manifesto.
Commissioner,
he's doing more than he promised.
All right,
to do.
Commissioner,
and, he's doing what he promised, and he is adding to it. There are many things he's doing now that
Commissioner, like I said before, or as I said before, you are